So from today for next few days, we'll be discussing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and topic is the cleansing of the Gundicha temple. Let's see how it goes. It's a very, very important subject matter. So many ways to understand, relate to our life as a practicing devotee, and also practice whatever has been taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by his own example. So this topic is discussed in Madhya Leela, chapter 3, and we'll be starting our discussion Madhya Leela, chapter 12. And we'll be starting our discussion from text number 73. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda तीन जन पासे प्रभु हासिया कहिला गुंडीचा मंदिर मार्जन सेवा मांगिलिला तीन जन पासे प्रभु हासिया कहिला गुंडीचा मंदिर मार्जन सेवा मांगिलिला तीन जन पासे प्रभु हासिया कहिला गुंडीचा मंदिर मार्जन सेवा मांगिनिला Vaishnavis, तीन जन पाशे, in the presence of the three persons, Prabhu, the Lord, Hashiya, smiling. Kohila said, Gundicha Mandira Marjan, of washing the temple known as Gundicha. Seva, service. Magi, Nilo, obtained by begging. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When these three people came before the Lord, He begged them for permission to wash the temple known as Gundicha. Purport. The Gundicha temple is situated 2 miles northeast of the Jagannath temple. At the time of Ratha Yatra festival, Lord Jagannath goes to the Gundicha temple from his original temple and stays there for 1 week. After 1 week, he returns to his original temple. It is understood by hearsay that the wife of Indradumna, the king, who established the Jagannath temple, was known as Gundicha. There is also mention of the name of the Gundicha temple in the authoritative scripture. The area of the Gundicha temple is estimated to be 288 cubits by 215 cubits. A cubit is about a foot and a half. The main temple inside is about 36 cubits by 30 cubits, and the Kirtan hall is about 32 cubits by 30 cubits. Mukam karati vachalam panghulanghaite giring jatkripatamaham vande Sri Gurung Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Isharam. Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. So we are in the mood of celebrating Ratha Yatra festival. So now is the time for Jagannath. So we have to prepare our mind, consciousness with Jagannath consciousness. So this section of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is very, very important for us as a practicing devotee and also for those who are perfect devotees. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, playing the role of an Acharya, is teaching by his own example how we should act in devotional service. So many things can be learned from this pastime. We will try our level best to cover as many things as possible. And I request you also come up with your wonderful understanding so that we can learn together and advance together in Krishna consciousness. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is talking to three personalities: Kashi Mishra, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and the temple superintendent. Kashi Mishra was a Rajguru, then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a Raja Pandit, and temple super is the manager, managing the temple. So Brahmanas, Kshatriyas all together came to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu begged from them. And what was the subject matter? Not money. Subject matter was service, and not to have managerial service, menial service. So Gundicha temple plays a very important role. Nilachal and Sundarachal, temple where Lord Jagannath stays for the whole year, that is known as Nilachal. And the temple where Lord Jagannath stays for 7 days in a year, that is known as Sundarachal or Gundicha temple. Why Jagannath comes here? There are many reasons, but there is a very, what I can say, very important historical reason. Indradumna Maharaj was the instrument to manifest the deity form, Daru Brahma form of Lord Jagannath into this world. So after Jagannath was established in the beautiful temple built by Indradumna Maharaj, Indradumna Maharaj begged for 3 boons. First boon was, my dear Lord, please bless me so that I don't have any son. Very interesting and contrasting boon. Generally people go to the Lord if they don't have son and go for begging, please give me a son. But here, Indradumna Maharaj is begging something completely opposite. Why? Because devotional service should be selfless. If it serve with a purpose other than the purpose to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will be bound in this material world, even if it is devotional service. So therefore, devotional service should be selfless. Krishna Bhakta Niskam Atev Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakulei Yasanta. It is said that people in this world are very disturbed. Disturbed, in Kali Yuga, very disturbed. Very, very disturbed. Prayana alpa aisha sabho kalo asmin yuge janaha manda sumanda matayo manda bhaggahi upadruta. Disturbed. For small things, we become very disturbed. Mind is very weak and mind is very active. That's why we are always disturbed. So this is the symptom. And in this world, most of the people are interested in karma and enjoyment, bhukti. And those who are frustrated in bhukti want to become liberated and aspire for mukti. Again, they become frustrated, again bhukti. Again frustrated, mukti. Bhoga, tyaga. Going on. For how long? Since time immemorial. So people are very disturbed because they have material desires. Gross, subtle, very subtle, very subtle, all varieties are there. But the devotees of Krishna, according to this verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita, are peaceful, not disturbed at all, completely free from any disturbance. Why? Krishna Bhakta Niskam, Atev Santa. What kind of Bhakta? Niskam Bhakta, not Sakam Bhakta. Niskam Bhakta means who has no material desire. So Indradumna Maharaj is in the category of Niskam Bhakta. His devotional service is primarily, exclusively intended to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So why he begged this boon? Because he knew after he will be gone, if he has a son, then his son will claim the proprietorship or ownership of the temple. He will say, it's my temple. It was my father's temple. Now after me, my son will become the owner of the temple. That happens very commonly seen in this world. So Indradumna Maharaj did not want to do that. He wanted this temple should be for Jagannath. It should be Jagannath temple, not Indradumna Maharaj temple. Right? We say, oh, who is the owner of this house? Oh, it belongs to the Lord. But registration in my name. Very difficult. If you tell them to transfer the registration in the Lord's name, Anyway, everything belongs to Krishna. Where is the need of registration? Krishna knows the heart. Yes, definitely knows the heart. That's why you are here. Because of our heart. So you cannot cheat Krishna. So you have to be free from cheating propensity. So Indradumna Maharaj was completely free from cheating propensity. That's why he wanted to engage everything in the service of the Lord. So Lord was happy to give that boon, benediction to Indradumna Maharaj. And Indradumna Maharaj also very happy. But Indradumna Maharaj's wife became very upset. Whatever decision I take, somebody will be upset in this world. The decision may be perfect according to you, but some people will be there who will not be happy with the decision. That's why decision should not be made to please people. We have to take right decision. So right decision also has impact. So it was a very right decision taken by Indradumna Maharaj from spiritual point of view. And from a material point of view, it was totally wrong decision. From social point of view, it was not a right decision. So different way to look at decisions. So whatever you do in this world has imperfection, defects. We cannot have anything to do without any defect, because our senses are imperfect, full of defects. So naturally, Indradumna Maharaj's wife will be upset because she needs a son. She is a mother. And she told the Lord, if I don't have any son, then who will take care of me? Who will do my Shraddha ceremony? All these things she started asking questions. The Lord told, no problem. I'll be your son. Problem solved. And told her that I am giving you the word. Every year, I leave my temple and go and stay in your house for 7 days. So that is the purpose of Ratha Yatra. Ratha Yatra means going to the temple of Gundicha Devi. That's why Ratha Yatra is also known as Gundicha Yatra. So Gundicha is very, very important place. And this is Vrindavan. Gundicha is Vrindavan. And temple where Lord Jagannath resides whole year, that is Dwarka. So Ratha Yatra means journey from Dwarka to Vrindavan. This is the mood of the Gauriya Vaishnavas. But generally people say we go to Gundicha. That is historical mood. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is revealing a very important pastime. Whatever Lord does, it becomes pastime. Leela. We clean every day our houses. It does not become Leela. Right? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he cleansed Gundicha temple and it became the part of the Shastra. And it is Leela. Why? Why our activities are not Leela, but Krishna's activities are Leela? When Krishna performs any activity, he has no personal agenda. He does not have any personal expectation that I will get something out of this activity. Then why he performs activities? To please the devotees. Krishna follows only one regulative principle. We follow 4. But he follows one. And what is the regulative principle? Pleasing the devotees. That's why his activities are known as Leela. and how we can become part of that pastime. And why our activities are not Leela? Because we have agenda. Always we have some motivation. We all want to be motivated, right? To work. So what is the motivation? There are varieties of motivation according to the modes. If someone is in the mode of ignorance, motivation is fear. People work out of fear. We work in the company, although we don't like to work, but we work why? Fear. What is the fear? We may lose the job if we don't work properly. Then mode of passion. What is the motivation? Material profit. Mostly people are motivated by this principle. What I'll get. That is mode of passion. Mode of goodness. What is the motivation? Duty. Sense of duty. Detachment. They are not attached to the results. That's why they develop a sense of duty. And when we transcend the modes, then motivation is love. So when we perform our activities only for the pleasure of the Lord, then we also become part of the Leela of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So how a living entity can become part of Krishna's pastime? When a living entity performs his or her activities for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here is performing this activity for the pleasure of, no, he is performing the role of a devotee. So he is performing this activity for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Jagannath. Okay? One God is in the service of another God. That is the beauty of Jagannath Puri. So that was the first boon of Indradumna Maharaj. You should also remember other two boons. We will not discuss those two boons. Second boon was, Indradumna Maharaj asked that you should give darshan all the time. No rest. No sleep. And Jagannath cannot sleep anyway, because he has no eyelids. How he can sleep? Jagannath cannot sleep because he has no eyelids. He gives darshan throughout the day, also throughout night, but for few hours, temple is closed. That time, darshan is closed for the residents of earthly planet. But that time, residents from heavenly planets come to take darshan of Lord Jagannath. That was the second boon. And third boon was very favorite boon of Jagannath. Indradumna Maharaj said, we will offer food to you, bhoga to you. You eat that and we will wash your hand, and before your hands dry up, another offering will come. Jagannath said, yes, very good. That is the most favorite thing for Lord Jagannath. So in that way, Indradumna Maharaj received three boons. One boon is connected with Gundicha Devi, Gundicha temple. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is creating another historical event. How to receive the Supreme Personality of Godhead Jagannath in Gundicha temple. Because throughout the year, the temple is not inhabited, or Lord is not there externally. And he comes only for 7 days. So when you don't use things, then that place becomes what? Unclean, dirty. And Krishna does not reside in a place which is dirty. Why Jagannath is not there in the heart of a living entity? Generally, because heart is not clean. So you may say, oh, Lord is there as Paramatma. Yes, he has no other choice. Paramatma has to be there because he is the officer. And he is performing his job. What is the job? He is the approving authority and he is also the witness. So he has to be there. That's why he is there. But the Lord, as Krishna, as Jagannath, as Shamsundar, is not there in the heart of a conditioned soul. Why? Because the heart is unclean or dirty. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also teaching us that a place becomes suitable for the Lord to reside should be very clean. So before we start the discussion about the cleaning service, how Mahaprabhu started the service is not that somebody decided you are in the service list and you are told to do the service. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is setting a higher principle. He begged for the service. We should hanker for rendering devotional service. But we hanker for position of service. Right? But we should hanker for service, not for position. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the leader, the sannyasi, guru, he is begging for service. And what kind of service? Cleaning the temple. Very deep message Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us through this pastime. Actually, broom is very attractive to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Broom. Generally, that is not so good thing, no? People declare in the social media that now I have become a sweeper. People declare like that. But here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is declaring to the whole world that I am a sweeper. So it's the topmost service for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not want to give darshan to Prataprudra Maharaj. Prataprudra Maharaj was the king. Not only king, he was the devotee king, Vaishnava king. And who pleaded for his appointment with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Ramananda Rai, Nityananda Prabhu, all other associates. Even after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not ready to give him darshan or give him mercy. But he changed his mind. When? On the Ratha Yatra day, when Prataprudra Maharaj was cleaning or sweeping the road in front of Jagannath. The moment Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the broom in the hand of Prataprudra Maharaj, Mahaprabhu's heart melted. He immediately decided that I have to give him the mercy. So broom is very powerful. Right? That's why in Gurukula system of education, even someone wants to join Brahmachari ashram in ISKCON, Prabhupada introduced the system. Whoever you may be, if you want to join the ashram, you have to learn how to sweep. cleaning the road, cleaning the temple, cleaning the kitchen, cleaning the toilet, cleaning the ashram. This is the basic qualification in order to be resident in Brahmachari ashram of our society. And that was the standard in Gurukula system of education. You may be the son of the king, you may be the son of a big rich man, you may be the son of a Brahmana, whoever you may be. When you are in Gurukul, you have to render menial services. Krishna personally did. Right? Krishna, Balaram, everybody did the menial services. Because this is the foundation of our spiritual life. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is establishing that principle. That broom is very, very powerful and attractive to bring the attention of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Menial service attracts the mind of Krishna. Menial service melts the heart of Krishna. But it should be done also with service attitude. It should not be done mechanically. Oh, I am doing now, I should get the mercy. If you do mechanically, then you cannot touch the heart. Menial service should be done, but with that service attitude, that I am a menial servant. It's not that, oh, see how humble I am. I am from a very wonderful, rich, aristocratic background. Even after that, I am cleaning. Lord, you must be very impressed by my service attitude. If you do like that, there will be no mercy. Because you are doing it out of pride. You are doing the activity, but you don't have the mood. Content is menial, but intent is not menial. So intent is more important than the content. Content may be very attractive, but if intent is not right, then Krishna will not be interested. Just like Duryodhana invited Krishna for lunch. It was a super opulent lunch. You cannot think the way arrangement was made. Royal arrangement. Content was super high class. But Krishna was not interested. Why? Intent was not there. Service attitude was not there. It was all mechanical. Mechanical. That's why Krishna decided to go to the house of Vidura. What is the meaning of guest? Guest means who comes without prior intimation. Does not exist nowadays. Even if someone comes, he comes with invitation. Right? You have to intimate beforehand when you are coming, and more important, when you are leaving. Right? That's very important. So that's why there is no guest in nowadays. So it is said that door of the Grihastha house should be always open, like the temple. In temple we have guests. People come without any invitation. But Grihastha's house should be like that. And that was the culture before. And door used to be always open, and outside of the door it was written, Atiti Deva Bhava. So it means that people are welcome. How we can welcome? When we are open. Right or wrong? We have to be open-minded, open-hearted. And first qualification to receive guests is that when guests come, we should be happy. This is the first qualification. But nowadays, if people come, we are thinking, oh my God. We don't say that, but inside we are thinking when he'll go, or she'll go, or they'll go. We are not happy. But we should be very happy. We feel very fortunate that guests have come. But we think opposite. That he is very fortunate that he has come to my house. That's called the culture that Prabhupada used to say that my father used to invite 4 sadhus minimum every day. That was the culture of the house of Srila Prabhupada. That was the culture. But that culture is no more there. Nowadays, door is always closed. In city, you cannot keep it open. Security issue, other issues are there. Then outside the door, another door. Double security. And then it is written, beware of dogs. So message is very clear. Don't come. Don't come. But message should be, please come, welcome. Right? And when guest comes, we should be happy and we should receive that guest with 3 things minimum, basic minimum. First, we should welcome the guest with sweet words, pleasing words. Then we should give him a place to sit down. And after that, 1 glass of water. Does this need any money? Welcoming guest does not need money. Welcoming guest needs heart. We have to open our heart. So that's why we say, if we want to welcome Krishna in our life, we have to be open. So how we can welcome the Supreme Lord? By chanting His holy name. Right? So while we chant, we should be open. How? Our eyes should be open, our ears should be open, and most importantly, our heart should be open. So that is the way. But when we chant, all 3 are closed. All 3 are closed. This is the situation of Kali Yuga. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is begging for the service. Begging for the menial service. And these 3 people, 3 important personalities, they are telling, this service is not suitable for you. You are the Supreme Lord. But if you want, this can be arranged. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, through this pastime, will reveal many things, or revealed many things, or revealing many things. So what are the things needed to clean? 2 primary things. 1, broom, other one, water pots. In modern terminology, buckets. But Mahaprabhu used pots. How many? 100, it is written in Chaitanya Charitamrita. 100 pots and 100 brooms were arranged for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is alone, so why 100 pots? Why 100? Because he will not do it alone. So Mahaprabhu is telling, this is Sankirtan movement. This is not a meditation movement. Right? In meditation, you don't need anybody. You go to the forest, close your eyes, meditate. And that happened in Satyayuga. But in Kali Yuga, the process is different. Process is Sankirtan. Not Japa, not Kirtan. It is Sankirtan. Why Sankirtan? Because Mahaprabhu knows what we can do, and more importantly, he knows what we cannot do. We are very expert in sleeping in Kali Yuga, especially those who are practicing Bhakti Yoga. Many people cannot sleep. Those who are in Rajoguna, they cannot sleep. Right? Very serious problem nowadays. People cannot sleep because of tension in life. They go to the doctors, take medicines. Even after that, they cannot sleep at night. Our recommendation is, please don't go to the doctors. Please come and join ISKCON morning Bhagavatam class. Guaranteed, you can sleep. And after the class, one Japamala will be given, you can sleep all day. So sleep problem is gone. No more problem. But that becomes problem. So whatever you do is a problem in this world. If you sleep, problem. If you cannot sleep, problem. But devotees are very happy people. Those who are happy, they can sleep properly. Very nicely they sleep. So we say they sleep lying down on the bed 6 hours. Then sitting down 2 hours during japa. And again 1 hour during Bhagavatam class. So sleeping by lying down, sleeping by sitting down. I personally witnessed some devotees can sleep by standing. During Mangala Arati, they will come and stand in front of the deities and sleep. It's true. It's a case study. It's a proven fact. So recently, not recently, a few months back, one devotee told me, Maharaj, I have seen a devotee sleeping while walking. Super expert. But till now, we have not got the news that someone can sleep while dancing. That's why Mahaprabhu has declared the process is Harinam Sankirtan. You have to dance. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the dancing God. He is not sleeping God. He is dancing God. So if we want to be awake, process is Sankirtan. On the street, dance. Nachagao Bhakta Sange Karo Sankirtan Amani Madhur Mahaprabhur Bachan. The conclusion of Mahaprabhu's teaching is dance. Dancing. That's why we need to be together. Japa can be done alone, but Sankirtan means loud japa, loud chanting of the holy name with many devotees. So any service to be done in Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement should be done with devotees, not alone. In modern terminology, it's called teamwork. Right? Teamwork. And Mahaprabhu's terminology is Sankirtan. We have to do it together. Team, not alone. Mahaprabhu doesn't want any service to be done alone. We have to do it together. Staying together, serving together is the success of spiritual life. And that is the biggest austerity. Austerity in Satyayuga was to go to the forest and do meditation alone. But austerity for Kali Yuga is to do Sankirtan in cities and villages along with devotees. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to clean the Gundicha temple, but he wanted to clean with many, many devotees. Hundreds of devotees. Hundreds of devotees. That is mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we have to do service together. So Mahaprabhu got all the broom and pots. This is also the science of cleaning. Nowadays we use vacuum cleaner, right? To clean houses. But that is not complete. If you want to have cleaning, you must use water. First cleaning with the broom, then we have to clean with water. Without the use of water, cleaning is not complete. Cleaning is not pure. So therefore, cleaning means using water. For cleaning, Mahaprabhu used broom first, then he used the water pots. That is the process. So I don't know this temple how it is cleaned, but in Mayapur, they clean with water. You have to clean with water. It's very, very important. So Mahaprabhu called all the devotees and started cleaning. So how Mahaprabhu called the devotees? আর দিনে প্রভাতে লইয়া নিজগণ শ্রীহস্তে সবার অঙ্গে লেপিয়া চন্দন. The next day, early in the morning, the Lord took his personal associates with him and with his own hand smeared sandalwood pulp on their bodies. We have to treat your team members with utmost respect. Mahaprabhu is showing that. Personally, he is interacting. It's not that, oh, delegated, now you do it. It's not like that. Welcoming devotees should be done personally. So Mahaprabhu, being the ideal leader, he is going with them and also welcoming them, giving them a lot of respect by smearing sandalwood pulp on their bodies. Then what he did? শ্রীহস্তে দিল সবারে এক এক মার্জনী সবগণ লইয়া প্রভু চলিলা আপনি. He then gave each devotee a broom with his own hand, and taking all of them personally with him, the Lord went to Gundicha. We have to be together. Not you sit in the office, send the WhatsApp message, everything is all right, do it, give the report, after the service is done. This is not the way to render devotional service. Devotional service should be done together. That is the beauty of Krishna conscious life. Gundicha mandire gela korite marjon prothome marjoni loiya korila shodhan. In this way, the Lord and his associates went to cleanse the Gundicha temple. At first, they cleansed the temple with the brooms. So cleaning started. So there is a whole description how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cleaned the temple. But problem is, time is up. It's 9 o'clock. So we'll discuss about the cleaning, how Mahaprabhu did the cleaning service along with the devotees, in what mood. We'll discuss that in details tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Hopefully we can cover the whole chapter. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.